Hello, and welcome to your meditation practice as part of the Open Heart Project. My name is Susan Piver, and I'm very happy to sit with you in meditation. We're going to sit together today for 10 minutes. We're going to start momentarily. Please get settled, whether you're on a cushion on the floor, with your legs crossed loosely in front of you, or in a chair with your feet flat on the floor, and both are fine, chair or cushion. And as you get settled, I want to share with you a response I have to what is probably the most frequently asked question that I hear from you guys about your meditation practice. And it's a question I have too, so I hear it from myself as well. And that question is some version of, what is my problem? Why can't I be more consistent with my meditation practice? I have every good intention. I make a commitment, I do it for a day or a week or a month, and then I don't, and I feel guilty, and what's wrong with me? Do I have resistance? So forth and so on. So I want to tell you that if this is you, you are not alone. In fact, I would say 98.5% of the people that I have ever spoken to about meditation have this question. What's my problem? I want to do it, I don't do it. What's wrong with me? In fact, when I tell people that I have just met for the first time that I'm a meditation teacher, the response I usually get from them is they kind of go like this. That's me trying to do a guilty look. Because they feel bad somehow. That question makes people feel bad. Or that knowing that I'm a meditation teacher makes people feel bad because they think, oh yeah, meditation, that's good for you. I should do that. I don't do it, I should do it. I do it for 5 minutes, I should do it for 10 minutes. I do it once a week, I should do it 5 times a week. I do it 5 times a week, I should do it 100 times a week. I went on a week retreat, I should have gone on a 3-year retreat, and so forth and so on. Everybody, or 98.5% of everybody, feels some kind of inadequacy about their practice. So I want to tell you to stop that. If this is you, just stop it. Because A, it's not useful, and B, I'm pretty sure it's not true that you have some kind of problem that you need to solve. And this occurred to me a few years ago when I heard this question yet again, what's wrong with me? Why can't I keep my practice steady? And for some reason, on this particular occasion, it occurred to me that it is mathematically impossible for 98.5% of people to lack the sufficient discipline to sustain a meditation practice. I'm not a mathematician, y'all, but I'm pretty sure that the probability on that is low. Okay, so if it's not that you lack discipline, what is it? It's an interesting question. So I'm going to tell you what I think it is. But I'm going to have to take a little Buddhist sidetrack first, but I'll make it short because I want to go right to our practice. So in Buddhism, there is this notion of the 3 jewels, 3 treasures, 3 things that guide you on the path to enlightenment. They're precious beyond measure. They are 3 jewels. The first jewel is called Buddha, but it doesn't mean, oh, there was some person that is better than me that I should worship or, in any way. Rather, the Buddha started out on his journey exactly like you and me, same trick bag, same tools, and somehow put them to use to attain complete liberation from suffering, not by becoming wakeful, but by realizing that he was already awake. Buddha means awakened one in some translations. So you and I are like Buddha in that we are already awake. We just get confused about that. So the jewel of Buddha is really the jewel of your own wakefulness. And of course, the life example of the Buddha, who was someone that achieved everything we're basically looking for with the same artillery. The second jewel is called Dharma, which means teachings or path or way. So here, in the traditional Buddhist sense, it means, oh, there are a lot of teachings to study. They're pretty amazing. Biggest understatement of all time. And there's somewhere I can go for instruction. There's somewhere that I can go to get insight and shed light on my path. Because when you sit down to meditate, whether this is your first time or your bazillionth time, something begins to unfold. That something is your path, your dharma. And finding a way to connect with that, understand that, recognize it, really, really important on your journey. And the third jewel is called Sangha, which is a Sanskrit word for community, which is very interesting because you think, oh, community is like one of the three most important and essential supports for my spiritual journey. But meditation is a very solitary thing. So why would I need a community? That's what I thought anyway. It turns out that this third jewel, Sangha, is probably the most important because it's where our practice is really put to use, tested, honed, amplified. Because it's one thing to study the Dharma and practice the Dharma, really good things, but it's another thing altogether to take it to the street and to actually be a dharmic person and apply your spirituality to your life, which is why we practice altogether. Not to be good at it. Doesn't matter if you're good at meditation or not. Take my word for that. What matters is, are you good at being you in your life? And that's why we're practicing. So this third jewel, community. So when you and I, sit down to practice as Westerners, which I think most of us are, we think, well, I should just say, you go in that room and you sit down and don't get up until you do your practice or your yoga or whatever it is that you want to do. And if you fail to do that, you are a failure. I would suggest that that is not the case. I would say that you are missing some jewels. So when you sit down to meditate, you are establishing a connection with your own wakefulness. That's just the nature of the practice. You're letting thoughts go to come back to the present moment, which is wakefulness. So you've got the first jewel, you've got Buddha, you've got that. You don't need to cultivate that one. But where are the other two? Where is your Dharma and where is your Sangha? Another way to say that is, where is your way of deepening your understanding of what is happening through your practice? And where is your society of fellow humans with whom you can practice and deepen what you are learning? So I suggest that you need all three of those. So you have the first one, as mentioned. The second one you can get by reading books or watching videos. I'm trying to give you some of that right now. But cultivating some way of understanding, like understanding what is happening through your practice, not just important, essential to create a sustained practice. And finally, it is really, really important for, to me, mysterious reasons, to practice from time to time with other people. It's great to practice by yourself in your house. But if you can find a way to practice with others, if you can go to a local center, if you can have some friends over and sit down to meditate, maybe you have friends like that, I don't know. But you don't even have to do it in the same space. Like you could say to a friend, wherever it is they live, let's practice together tomorrow for 10 minutes at 9 a.m. my time, whatever time that is for you. And then when you sit down, you just text your friend or think of your friend. And then when you're done, and while you're practicing, you're sitting together. That's meaningful. And then you could just say goodbye, text them, or whatever it is. That is whatever you can do to bring some human connection into this solitary practice has surprising import in keeping your practice sustainable. So to summarize, if you've been thinking, what's my problem, blah, blah, I'm a loser because I can't meditate consistently. Okay, maybe you're a loser, but I don't think so. I think you've only got one jewel and you need three. So think about that. And of course, if you're in the Open Heart Project, the Open Heart Project was created to supply all three jewels. We're practicing together. I'm giving you this talk, blah, blah, blah. And you're practicing with other people right now, whether you know it or not. So if you want to deepen this, please think about joining the Open Heart Project Sangha. It is a Sangha where we practice together with more of a sense of togetherness, more of a connection with myself, and a variety of amazing opportunities to cultivate all three jewels. I'll leave it at that. So I hope this is useful, interesting, something, and let's practice together. So begin your practice, please, by taking a good posture, which means to sit up straight. And that's just because there's a difference between this, you could do this with me if you like, and this. Ooh. Suddenly there's a feeling of dignity and elegance and goodness, I would say, in just taking this upright posture. The hands can rest on the legs, palms down. Basically, the biceps are parallel with the torso. So if you hang your arms down like this, and then bend at the elbow with your palms down, and then place your palms where they naturally go, that's probably the best spot for you. While the back is straight and strong, the front body is soft and open. So let your belly soften. The area around your heart soften. Your throat can soften. These are three gates, belly, heart, and throat, with which we communicate with our world. Instinct, emotion, and speech, and they seem to be always open. So you can relax with that sense of openness because you have a strong back to support you. And let your shoulders relax. The chin is tucked a little bit, so the back of the neck is long. The mouth is closed. The lips and teeth are slightly parted. And the breath is in and out through the nose. And just however you're breathing is cool. You're already breathing, so just please continue. And the eyes are open. And the gaze is cast down to a spot in front of you, up to 6 feet or 1.5 meters. Or if your screen is right in front of you, just some comfortable distance for you to where you're not looking at the screen. You're just gazing down. And you can let the eyes be very soft. Instead of laser focusing on one point, let the whole visual field in. What can you see end to end without moving your eyes? It should feel like a tiny defocusing of the eyes or a softening. And the crown of the head reaches up a little bit. And here we are in the meditation posture. Now please feel your body breathing. Feel your breath. Come in on the inhale and flow out on the exhale. This is different than observing the breath, which implies a kind of stepping away and looking back. This is a full-on being with the breath by feeling it. Let the attention ride in on the inhale and dissolve out on the exhale. At the end of the exhale, you don't have to do anything because the next inhale will just start. I promise. So you begin again to come in and flow out, following the cycle of breath. Your mind will continue to produce thoughts because that's what it does. That's fine. You need make no effort to change that or alter it or stop it. Imagine instead that your thoughts are like a little brook running by the side of your home or your space. It's just outside going burble, burble, burble. And it's kind of out there, ambient. And right here is the breath. So most of your thoughts won't distract you, really. They'll just come and go like little bubbles popping. But at some point you may notice that you're absorbed in thought to the point where you have forgotten about your breath. That is awesome, because you just woke up and saw where you were. It's really good. So the instruction here is to label that moment thinking. Oh, I've been thinking. It's different than meditating. Thinking. Let go. And gently bring your attention back to the breath. The gently part is the most important. And begin again, feeling the breath. And that's all there is to it. So we'll practice together, continue to practice together. Thank you so much for your practice, and thank you so much for practicing together.